Hello guys, welcome to day 23 of Film Yourself Everyday Challenge. Today I want to talk about resentment. On Friday, me and my coach did a resentment clearing session. And when he told me we were going to do a resentment clearing session on Thursday, two things happened. One, I had no idea what resentment means. Because you know that men are very bad at understanding the emotions. So I took out this emotional wheel that he shared with me and I Googled it. So that was pretty funny. Second, after I understood what it means, I thought, okay, I don't really need this session because I don't resent anybody. I'm not that angry with anybody. But then a surprising thing happened. And we did the session on Friday and I realized that I still hold some resentment towards my mother specifically for the things that she did in the past. Well intentionally, but it hurt my inner child. And it was coming up as a triggers. So every time I would be speaking with my mother, she would say something, not meaning anything bad, but it would trigger me because in my mind or deep down, I would connect it with the situation that happened 20, 25 years ago. So we did this resentment clearing and I loved it because I really released a lot of negative emotions and I really feel a lot of lightness and less weight on my shoulders. And it gave me a very important realization. And the realization is that even if we love somebody unconditionally, I would die for my mother. But we can still hold deep down some negative emotions toward them. And we need to deal with these negative emotions. I don't blame my mother for anything. Really, I take full responsibility for most of the things in my mind, but my, let's say, whole emotions and my body and everything combined, they still blame her for some things. And it was triggering me. So I really like that I addressed this because now I already see that in discussions with her, I get much less triggered. She says something that would trigger me. I still get this warm feeling, you know what I'm talking about, right? But now I realize, okay, where is this coming from? It's coming from this situation. Okay, does she even remember this situation? Does she mean it in that way? And then I let it go. And this is much more masculine trait. Because I think with my mother, my biggest problem was that I was always taking a more feminine role. I was reacting, I was responding in emotions. I was allowing the emotions to control me. Right now, I'm trying to take a more masculine role and just breathe, be present, be grounded. Either don't really think about the trigger, don't really let it affect me, or even if it does affect me, just tell her, hey, let's move on. Before I would be reacting, I would be jumping, why are you saying this? Why don't you trust me? And so on. And then the fight would come because she would also be in defensive position because it would be no real polarity, like as a masculine and feminine. And I'm not talking about balls and pussies, I'm talking about energies. I also have feminine energy and I have masculine energy, and you, whatever gender you are, you have both, right? It's also started affecting other relationships in a positive way, the resentment clearing, because the realization of I can hold resentment to people even though I'm not aware of it and I am not really recognizing it in my mind allows me to build a relationship in a much better way. I really want to show up as a man in the relationship with a masculine energy. And a big task is going to be the 7th of August when I actually go back. Because it's very easy to navigate these things over the phone. But when you're standing face to face and these triggers are coming up, and there is obviously a lot of them in all of us, then I will need to remain calm in that situation, because that situation will also not allow me to make a distance, because the vicinity will make it even more intense, But here's the thing. The first time in my life, I am super excited about that. I'm super excited to go back and to test myself. I have been working on myself for the last year in all aspects, mind, body, soul, spirituality, everything. And now it's actually the time when I will be able to put all of these things into practice, test them. And my mother, in that sense, will be my biggest test, my biggest arch enemy for testing everything I learn and putting it into practice. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I just want to say one thing, right? It's so important to be aware of our emotions. And it's so brave that you actually sit down and be with your emotions. So what does that mean for you? It means that you need to start processing your negative emotions. So here's a quick exercise. Take a list of paper and write down your top 3-5 most important people in your life. Mother, father, caregivers, friends, partners, and so on. And then really take 30 minutes and think about, okay, what bothers me with them and whether or not I'm holding any negative emotions towards them. And write it down, my girlfriend always pushes me to go to the restaurants I don't want to go. Because of it, I XYZ, Doesn't matter. Like, just write it down and then ask yourself, why does this bother me? And a lot of these things will come back to something that your caregivers or parents did when you were young. And then try to resolve it. And try to resolve it by talking with people. For me, one thing that comes up in my relationship is control. I fucking hate control. And I hate control because my mother always tried to control me when I'm a kid. So a lot of times when I feel my freedom is getting a little bit limited or somebody is trying to control me, I will back off. And the point is that they're not even trying to control me. For them, it's completely normal, but I associate it with that situation, and for me, it's a huge trigger. So in my past relationship, I was always just keeping it silent. It was bothering me so much, and then I ended the relationship. In my future relationship, I want to discuss this, and I want to say, hey, listen, it's me, not you. This situation is triggering me. I understand it's my hurt inner child, and I just wanted to share. And then I think through discussion, you will realize that their intention was never to control you, but always to make you better, hopefully. So really, write down the people, think about what bothers you, think about where this is coming from, and then discuss it with them. Because this is how we build a good relationship, not by being quiet, by being silent and not doing anything. Again, I'm blabbing a little bit. This is unscripted, but just wanted to share this with you. You fucking got this, and see you tomorrow.